Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book Networking Like a Pro and creator of the popular program How to Become a Trusted Authority and Get Your Message Out into the World. Now today we are going to talk about something that comes up a lot. People ask me, they're like, listen Brian, I want to get my message out into the world, but I'm not really sure which platform to use. I've got YouTube, I've got LinkedIn, I've got Twitter, I've got, all of these different things, and it's like, which one should I, or which ones should I go with? And that is a terrific question, because here's the thing. When you don't have a real clear understanding as to which platforms you're going to be able to go out on, what happens is you can couple things actually. The first thing is you try to do everything, right? You're like, oh, I'm going to go on Twitter and I'm going to go on YouTube and I'm going to go on LinkedIn and I'm going to be everywhere. Right? And that works for like maybe 2 weeks if you're lucky. All right. The other thing that happens is you have all these different choices of different things that can happen. But what happens is you almost just get overwhelmed in the inactivity. You're just like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to go. So you don't do anything. And then we all know how that game plays out. No one knows you exist. You're not really visible. It's hard to get paying clients and be able to be a trusted authority if people don't know that you exist and see that you're being visible. So all of those things happen, and unfortunately, all of those are bad. The good news, though, is that when you do this, and we'll talk about what you can do in terms of a technique and implement and stuff like that, when you do this, here's what happens. A lot of things happen, actually, and they're all good. You start impacting more people's lives. You start becoming more visible. People are aware of you. They see you as a credible expert. They see you as a trusted authority. They see you as somebody that they want to hire as a coach or a consultant or whatever the case may be, and then you start generating more revenue for your practice, and from there you're able to meet and engage and impact more people's lives. All of that happens when you're able to do this technique that we're talking about, because when I first got started, I was having challenge with this. It was something where even a few years afterwards, it was something where social media and some of these different platforms were coming on. And it was really tough for me to understand which one I should do and how I should be able to do that. So let me kind of give you my kind of philosophy and thought process for doing it. And really, it comes down to a simple term. It is streamlining. All right. I personally like to I recommend that people have 2, maybe 3 kind of channels that they decide to go on in terms of platforms. So for me, I am a LinkedIn man, I am a Facebook group man, and I am a podcast man. All right. So these are the ones that I do. I'm very intentional about it. I am very consistent with it. I have a content calendar that allows me to stay consistent with this. I've talked about that before. So these are things that I do. I don't really worry about Twitter. I don't really worry about, Facebook proper, because I do a lot with Facebook groups, but not with, the Facebook page itself. I use the page to get to the groups, but I don't really get involved with a lot of that kind of stuff. Okay, so I would encourage you, listen, if you're thinking about trying to get your message out into the world, streamline it. Pick 2 or 3 platforms that you like. It might be LinkedIn, it might be Facebook. You might decide that you're going to start doing some Facebook ads, like I'm actually going to start doing that. Pretty soon, actually. That's going to be my 4th. But I've been doing this since 2001 as well. So, you want to give yourself a chance to kind of catch up a little bit in terms of what you have content-wise. So my point is, find 2 or 3 different platforms that you can move forward on. Decide that that's what you're going to do. Get intentional with that and start getting some content, some good stuff out there for that. All right? Hopefully that makes sense. And you know what? By the way, I'd love it if you want to like, share, or comment on this. We know it. You're talking to people all the time. You talk in front of the camera, and it would be great to hear what you have to say. Maybe you have some questions. Maybe you have some thoughts. I personally answer all comments and things like that come down. So feel free to type something in there real quick, and we can go from there. But in the meantime, my name is Brian Hilliard, saying so long, take care, and thanks so much for your time.